Boom. Live. Fix and Flip Friday!
Welcome.
Yo.
It's Fix and Flip Friday here, the Modern REI, and we're excited to share with you today some very powerful, useful, super useful
Oh, yeah.
fix and flip techniques. Corey, start us off with the Fix and Flip jingle for the Fix and Flip Friday.
Yeah, I wrote this today. It goes with this. I got my first real fix and flip. I bought it at the local sale. I paid too much and now I'm screwed. Should've watched the wholesale Daily Show.
Yeah.
Nice.
As you know, every day Corey creates a brand new tune for the show.
It's a huge selling point.
That is probably our biggest. Corey has hundreds of millions of fans. I was gonna go hundreds.
It's gonna use your phone, Josh.
Corey has hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Corey has fans all over the world. He actually has a YouTube channel
True.
with singing songs,
Shirtless Sessions with Corey.
shirtless sessions.
Yeah.
So we're excited to chat with you about fix and flips. As you know, we do all sorts of things. We do wholesales, we do fix and flips, we do tax liens, we do tax deeds, all sorts of things. So I was just looking at the sheet, and I think we did 50 fix and flips last year.
I think so. Close to 50, yeah.
50 fix and flips.
50.
So that's a lot of fixing, and that's a lot of flipping, Josh.
Oh, it is.
So true.
Of those, we learned a lot of very valuable lessons. We definitely took some very, very hard beatings, and massive, actually. And I think one of the ways that this show and this podcast and TV series can be useful for you is to really try to take as much as this information of our successes and our failures and overcome it and take those lessons. And that's the beautiful thing about like a podcast or a book, is just that little bit of information that can help you navigate this stuff to save you from making, you're never going to be saved from making all of the mistakes, but we can help you avoid many, many mistakes. So Josh, you want to tell these guys, when we see a house, what can they expect for estimating rehabs? What's the safest way, perhaps like per square foot, or what do you got for them there?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think too, you got to determine exactly what you want to do, because when you look at these Zillow comps, you look at any kind of comps, it's going to be based on the top of the market. And so you got to know, all right, am I going to be aiming for the top of the market? Am I trying to cycle my money as quickly as possible? What kind of rehab do you want to do is probably a really important question to ask on the front end, because the thing is you got to pay. If you want to hit the top of the market, you got to do it the right way the first time. And you're always going to find people that want to try and save as much money as possible. But do you ever meet those people that want to save money, and it gets to the point though they end up spending more down the road? It's like you go somewhere and you think you're saving money on the front end, but only to actually end up paying double later.
Yeah.
And I've definitely suffered from getting really cheap labor and thinking I'm getting an amazing deal. Let's say we're gonna do this whole house for $10K, and it might cost someone else $25K. Mm-hmm. What might end up happening is it's $10K to fix the house, but it takes 3 months, and then I got to spend another $10K to fix their work, and then I got sloppy work on top of and then someone else's work coming on top of it. And so you really just want to make sure that you do it right the first time. And the way you can do that is getting a lot of subcontractors instead of just one guy to do the whole thing, and to save yourself kind of from getting into a situation where you get burned, because we've only lost money on one of those 50 houses. We only lost money on one house, and we got into some seriously crazy houses.
Yeah.
I'm talking you remember those photos of Ripple Grove?
This is the mold house?
Yeah. Mold house. I played for these guys a voicemail from this contractor. It was junk removal, in Cincinnati, and he wouldn't go in the basement and do anything. He said, I can't get my guys to go into the basement. He said it's the worst he's ever seen. I wish I kept that voicemail.
Yeah. Like, this is how bad the mold was. Professional mold removers didn't want to... It looked like a scene from the X-Files.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, the whole wall was just black.
Yeah.
Like, you would expect some sort of creature to be hibernating behind there with, like, millions of eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that investor got back $10K on about like a $90K investment. So, and that was maybe about 4 or 5 months. So we didn't lose money, and he got a good return. But so the way we comp these though, or the way we do rehab, is you can kind of do it based per square footage, and that's going to be the easiest way. And so, oftentimes you never want to be budgeting less than 10 or 15K, and you always want to at least have that be the minimum. But I would say around like $15 per square foot if it's going to be a really light rehab. So if your house is 988 square feet, you know that 988 times 15 is not going to even break 15K. So that's why I say have 15K as a minimum. But $15 a square foot is kind of going to be your lightest. So that's if you get inside the house and things look pretty decent, you know. They take care of the house, HVAC works, windows are great. You don't have to replace the windows. You don't have to do much paint. Maybe it's just a little bit of scratch and dent stuff here and there. Maybe replace the appliances, do new flooring, maybe some fixtures, update some fixtures so that they look better. But really, like, you're going to get killed on things like HVAC. If you got to replace the roof, the windows, I mean, there could be 10, 20, 30K right there. A lot of these old houses that we deal with, they might be from motivated sellers because they're going to go to the tax sale. So that stuff could be original from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and that's going to really, really cost quite a bit. So if you get into a house and it's starting to look a little bit more rough, you know, then you want to bump it up to $30 a square foot. And then if you're looking at a total rehab, that's where you got to do everything. You're looking at windows, HVAC, electrical, plumbing. You need the new appliances, paint, the exterior sucks. That's where you're getting up to like $45, $50 a square foot. And so $50 a square foot on a 1,000 square foot house, $50,000. That's going to probably get you a full rehab. But there's a lot of like really big red flags out there. When it deals with motivated sellers, you might have people that have left their house alone for 20, 30, 40 years. Yeah. And if you got serious foundation issues, I mean, you got to take that other stuff into consideration. But I mean, that right there, $15 a square foot for light rehab, 30 when you're getting into medium, and then 45 to 50 per square foot on bigger rehabs. Those are going to save you for sure. Yeah. Yeah, 15, 30, 45/50.
Now, depending, you may be your Al Borland or Tim the Toolman Taylor or Bob Vila. So if you're handy with the old skill saws, then you can definitely do sweat equity, which is where you do that work yourself and have a project. We have clients that this is how they've kind of built their portfolio is they buy the house, they get in there, they do it all themselves, and then that's really how they get going. So it's up to you. You maybe would want to do one or two, but no more, because your time is definitely going to be better spent finding deals than working in it.
Yeah.
But don't discount that. As far as fix and flip horror stories, of all of the properties that we have, we'd say, so we have these contractors Josh was talking about, and we've had a lot of bad contractors. And
yeah.
I'm not exactly sure, but Josh will know this. How many of the properties that we've fixed and flipped? So think about it this way. We get the property, we get our contractor in, and then he fixes it, and then we get an offer on it, and then the inspector comes, and then there's been crap work done.
Oh, yeah.
And then...
inspections.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's probably like 90+%, right?
No, it's not 90%, but like of the deals that we've done, for a while there was probably like 1 in 3.
Yeah, at least 1 in 3. And this is what happens when, we talk about this a lot lately, this is what happens when you have people that aren't really taking pride in their work, they're just looking for a paycheck. And so the reason that this was so difficult at the beginning is because we were out of state, we're virtual. And so we would fly down there, kind of get some things set up, but then we leave the project. And so these guys don't really have anyone checking up on them, and so they're sending us photos, and we're doing as much as possible to mitigate all the risk, but still they would just be they would be painting, and there was no pride in the work. They would be doing the kitchens and cabinets, and so that's why we're actually moving now to a different system. We do have a project manager on the ground, but he's going to be bringing in specialized people for each job, because we're paying for decent work but not getting decent results. And when you have people that don't take pride in their work and they're not looking out for you, that's when you're really going to get slammed on inspections. And just a little sub note for that, when they're getting an inspection done, you don't want them to draw attention to anything. And so if they start to notice a couple things, then they're going to be like really looking at this thing on a micro level and looking at all the crooks and crannies and all the stuff, and that's just going to bring out lots of weird stuff. And I think inspectors kind of get off on that. They love when they can say, "You're not going to believe what I found. This guy did this and this and this and this and this and this." I think inspectors like that. So we just want to make sure they don't find stuff, and we want to get we just want to have a good quality house, because that's going to bring repeat customers too. You want to be known as the guys that you got to look out for. So that's what's up.
Right on. And as you guys know, we get a lot of our deals from the power of cold calling. And we mentioned, I think it was yesterday, we talked about the benefits, the pros and cons of cold calling. So for yourself, we actually have a team of people that can do the cold calling for you and produce leads for you. So if you're interested in adding leads to your real estate business for wholesaling and fix and flip, go ahead and type the word leads in the comments below. And what we'll do is we'll send you some information on how we can work with you and generate motivated seller leads in your city that will be much cheaper than direct mail leads and a lot higher quality. So it's one of the things we do at Modern REI is we have our cold calling team. Obviously they generate leads for us, but we also team up with investors like you to generate motivated seller leads as well.
Dustin, what if people are listening to this on the podcast? How can they find out information about this?
For the folks listening on the podcast, as you're driving your car, your big rig, front end loader, scooter, forklift, motorbike,
tricycle,
or if you're just listening at home, go to our website, modernrei.com, and you can get all the info you need on how to get leads that we can generate for you to really add motivated sellers and leads, adding deals to your business. So if you're watching this, please leave us a comment if you like this or if you don't like it. From there, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead, please subscribe. Leave a comment or a question. We will get that answered and bring it to the next call. So
that's a good idea.
Once again, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, everybody.
I also just like to point your attention to this great drawing I did here of this person about cold calling, and it's Burr because he's cold.
That's a phone.
That's a phone. Yeah, I don't know what it might look like, but anyhow.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next time.
All right, take care, everybody.
Have a good weekend.